Welcome to the review segment of our show, the AM show, and Joseph Akable is in studio. Benjamin Akapo will be joining us via Zoom for us to do the review. We'll tell you what's making headlines in the newspapers, but I'm excited about our main conversation on the show today is World Food Day, and we wanted to have a conversation of our own. How is our situation like? How has COVID-19 impacted on agriculture? That's something that we've heard very little of. So we've got the 2018 National Best Farmer, Mr. James Boateng, a man who had done many years in corporate, really, who has some incredible farms as well, 1,002 acres. He's got mangoes, cashew, oil palm, oranges, cocoa. Well, that's very inspiring. Snail farm, livestock, poultry, all together. He started farming in 2004, and in 2018, he was adjudged the National Best Farmer. He's got an incredible story, but he would also be helping us with a broader conversation, and hopefully he can inspire you to start something of your own. Is it too late to get into farming today? He would let us know all about it. The pictures that you see on your screen, all from his farm. So Mr. James Boateng will join us on the show this morning. That's one to look forward to. Joseph Akable, do you have a little farm at home, like a backyard garden? That's what they say we should do, start something like that?
I don't have a backyard garden yet, but farming is one area that I intend to venture into in the not so distant future. Yeah? I mean, when I decide to...
What are you thinking? What are you thinking that you would grow? I have a friend who is into pineapple and coconuts.
I intend to have coconuts because my hometown, there are lots of coconut plantations that are available that you can get at affordable rates. And so that will be supplying it to Accra. You know, I went to my hometown, I bought coconuts for 2 cedis 50 pesos, and I got like 5 of them. Oh. Yeah, but they bring it to Accra. And
how much do they sell it these days?
Yeah, I can even get it one for 2 cedis 50 pesos, just one. Yeah, so I mean, I intend to go into coconut and also Operation Feed Myself. So the yam, cassava, and those things that I need to cook in the house too. So it's a medium-term plan. Yeah, I have.
Well, I also want to do the tomatoes and the pepper, like the backyard thing, just for the household. But I haven't started. Something that we always say.
We can get some tips from.
Absolutely, from Mr. Boateng this morning. Yes. All right, guys. Let's do the newspapers now. Let's get into the papers proper. Would you start, Akable?
Yes, I'll start with the Daily Guide. The front page says Dr. Anya heads Ho Teaching Hospital. Oh, interesting.
From Kolebu?
Yes, from Kolebu to Ho Teaching Hospital. Ofoswan Pofo tape transcript in court, also on the front page. And Ifia Schwarzenegger slams NDC. Another Legon lecturer killer nabbed, also on the front page. And 6 die in Galamsey pit, also on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. The back page has this story about party likened to Vieira. And fight for your position, Lamte advises Kotoko keeper. Yeah. Championship club faces collapse. Also on the back page of the Daily Guide newspaper this morning. The front page of the BNFT, it says Dr. Ernest Addison, BOG win major awards, and MSMEs contribute only 4% to domestic tax revenue. That's PEF findings, despite making up 92% of registered companies. Okay, so those of you who are interested in the business stories, you can find this in the Business and Financial Times, and consult locals in the implementation of One Village, One Dam project. It's coming from PFAG to government. Yendi ICT Center turns white elephant. The story is on page 3. The back page of the Business and Financial Times says IES Edmond Combat participates in energy transition. Germany's policy on hydrogen in Berlin. I know Edmond Combat. He was SRC president at Legon. He works with the Institute of Energy Securities now. So congrats to him. He's made a back page of the BNFT. Let me take the headline again. IES Edmond Combat participates in energy transition. Germany's policy on hydrogen in Berlin.
And the only reason you've read it twice is because you know him from the University of Ghana.
He's a brilliant young man. Yeah.
All right, let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the Graphic. Government unveils 2 billion Ghana cedis credit guarantee scheme for SMEs. fix security challenges, Asantehene tells police. Banner headline, not something that you'd like. Large farmland submerged, 13,469 displaced, and this happened in the northeast. There's Idrisu Baba, a farmer, pointing to the path leading to his submerged farm at Pualugu. And that's a farm submerged as a result of the floods, making the picture on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. The center spread of the paper this morning, its vice president inaugurates projects at Nkenkansu, and then Gamanche commiserates with former President Rawlings. Agriculture mechanization, way to boost trade on continent. That's the principal policy advisor, the macroeconomics and governance division of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, has said that to make the most from being the host of the headquarters of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana needs to add value to its primary agricultural produce. So there you have it. Details in the center spread. On the back page, stakeholders mark e-waste day, and Chinese firm supports COVID-19 fights, gives 30,000 Ghana cedis to Asante Akim Central Health Directorates. And on that note, let's say good morning to Benjamin Akapo.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes.
Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning,
Hope
Ben.
you are well.
Oh yeah, we're well, healthy. Thank God it's Friday. Which papers are you
Indeed.
reviewing?
Well, I have so two of them actually, the Custodian newspaper and the Republic Press. I shall start with the Custodian newspaper. This morning it says, offensive chiefs extol Akufo-Addo's government. And I guess we have another one on our hands. Yesterday I was talking about chiefs in politics. There was a Zango chief who had passed some comments. Yes, I've been told that Zango chiefs are not necessarily chiefs per what the Constitution says, but I think it's a worry that a lot of them seem to be dabbling in this. But that's something else I'll come to later. Then there's carry cameras to polling centers. Sylvester Mensah to the NDC faithful there. So it looks like this year the elections are going to be boot for boot, if you like, and there's going to be close marking when it comes to what happens on election day. There's also this one, talking money. Ghana to earn $1.65 billion from new petroleum hub. And some more coming through. NDC embezzled $114 million in Saglemi housing project. That's according to the housing minister, Atta Achia. Now, when you go to the Republic Press this morning, it says suspicions in electoral process fueling vigilantism. That's according to a chief. Will turn Labour Office into National Employment Bureau. If you've been listening to Sami Jemfi, especially yesterday, there was a lot to talk about. Then this one, another matter I'd love to get into. Jam brothers in fresh trouble over alleged assault case. This is a very interesting one, and if indeed it happened, as the CEO of Websoft Solutions, Godwin Mate, is saying, then that would be quite some impunity there shown by ex-Black Stars captain. What do we call him? The general captain now? I don't know whether he still holds that position, and his brother, Bafojan. Then there's also this one. Some MPP members want me jailed. That's Kennedy Ejapon lamenting that, and slain MP's second wife surfaces. I'm talking about Honorable Quayson Hayfoot. May his soul rest in peace. When you go to the back page, only yesterday we were talking about Elikem Kumoji. Well, he says, I don't date broke women. And he admits sleeping with old, rich women. So that is Elikem Kumoji there. I'd like to find out from Akable what his take is on that matter later on. And then there's nothing wrong with sleeping with men for money. That is Vicky Zuga. So those are the papers I have, the Custodian newspaper and the Republic Press.
Okay, so let's...
And I would like to ask you the same question too. Oh, let me do the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder. Finder says, we're very impressed with the Akufo-Addo's government. That's offensive chiefs. And Benjamin, you're talking about the chiefs now going all out in the campaign. You have one being reported in the Finder today. Murdered Infantiman MP to be buried on November 27th. There's a very interesting write-up in the Daily Graphic on page 7 by Enemil Ashon. I would share a bit of it with you on the same issue. He talks about the widows and the 200 bodyguards. Very, very good write-up there. But front page of the Finder still, government to absorb utility bills for public university students from next academic year. I guess it's one of the big ones today, and Joseph tells me it could be a response to the promises, the promise made by the NDC to absorb 50% of
the fees of tertiary students for the 2021-2022 academic year.
Okay, so this is what the NPP also says, speaking through the Minister of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Pempe. He says that no student in the public university will pay utility bills from next academic year. This is intended to lessen the financial burden on students and increase access to tertiary education in the country. So he says the Akufo-Addo-led government was the first to introduce a tertiary. Okay, I guess he goes on to talk about what they have done with the tertiary institutions. For us, though, is the fact that they've said that they would absorb utility bills for tertiary students. State calls second prosecution witness in Ofosu Ampofo Boahen's trial. That's also being reported in the paper today. And impose anti-dumping duties on aluminium coils, secals originating from China. That's a big call by a certain commission. Which commission is that? Is the Ghana International Trade Commission. And it has ruled that aluminium coils and secals from China are being dumped onto the Ghanaian domestic market, causing material injury and the threats of material injury to the Ghanaian industry. The rest of the story is right there in the Finder. Joseph, you do the Times?
Yes, the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Quickly, it says, a tragedy, 6 Galamseyers killed in mine pit at Dumbanso on the front page. One more suspect grabbed in connection with murder of UG Law professor, and Vice President, former President Mahama, others attends Lane MP's 1 week observance, also on the front page. The funeral slated for November 27 to 29. The back page of the Ghanaian Times has this story about pack house to boost vegetable farming inaugurated, and passenger services on Takrady Secondary rail line resume on Monday. It has a beautiful train with the Ghanaian colors on the train. It's the Secondary Takrady Kojokrom railway station. So those who use it, it's resuming on Monday. You can catch a train on Monday if you use that area.
Is it traveling beyond the normal routes? Is it, or this is?
We are told that it will resume. So they went off for some time because of some rehabilitation works that they were doing, and so it's just on the Takrady Secondary rail line that passes through Kojokrom. That's according to the acting traffic manager who disclosed this to the Ghanaian Times yesterday.
Well, we're looking to connect our cities. See, that's what I'm looking forward to. All right, is there, okay, there's the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Let's check out the front page of the Daily Dispatch. Sylvester Mensah rallies NDC cadres, 1 week memorial for MP, thoughts of a Nima boy, a conversation with Professor Wole Soyinka, and First Lady campaigns for NPP at Dade Kotopong. That's how the front page of the Daily Dispatch looks like. On the back page, though, you'd find the 1 week observation for late Infantiman MP at Mankasim. They've got pictures there. The 2020 polls will crush troublemakers, protect the ballots. Strong assurance there by the IGP. But related to the Infantiman, former Infantiman Member of Parliament, is this write-up I was talking about in the Daily Graphic by Enemel Ashon. Very clever write-up. And it raises some issues and refers us to widows replacing their husbands, if you like, in parliaments. So he brings back some of the recent ones that we've seen, but also raises this very important issue. So, for instance, he says, that's why I wonder, in the case of Mrs. Ophelia Kwanzaa, the widow of the slain Infantiman Member of Parliament, how did the New Patriotic Party supporters and constituencies top brass manage to squeeze a painful nod or a feeble yes to their question whether or not she would be willing to inherit the husband's title? The reason this bit came up in terms of the question he's raising is that He says widows, especially of men who die from unnatural causes, are usually inconsolable for days and weeks. And if you think about the announcement coming in terms of she replacing the late husband in just a matter of hours, that's why he asked this very important question. But, you know, it's just things that we know, but he's drawing our minds to it back in this write-up, and he gives an opinion on the bodyguards issue as well. But he also says something that I would like. Yes, Ben.
Well, I just wanted to chip in that, you know, there's this article on the Smithsonian as well, that this whole bit about wives replacing their husbands, some of us think it's a novelty. It isn't. Even in American politics, dating all the way back to 1940, you know, the House of Representatives, the Senate, these matters have been cropping up. So it's nothing new, technically. It's something that has been happening even in the so-called more democratic world. But I have some problems to do with, you know, the trend in our country and whether it is not becoming one too many, you know, in our body politic. So maybe that's something that we can address at some other time.
Okay. All right. Any other stories that you want to highlight? I would ask people to read this piece of editorial on page 7 in the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Just a number of top cases, just quick updates on them. The first one is about the killing of the Legon lecturer. We are told that another suspect has been arrested by the police. Is one Ebenezer Kwaisi. He was arrested from his hideout at Kwamonso near Koforidua in the eastern region on Wednesday morning by a team of detectives from the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service. And so he had been mentioned by a key suspect, James Nana Wamba, who is currently in the police custody as an accomplice to the crime. And so that is the update on the murder of Professor Bene. In terms of the alleged coup plotters, the Attorney General's office says that's filed all documents and is ready for the trial to proceed once the defense team is able to go through it, and they are also ready for the trial to commence. And so that is the update for that particular matter. Then the final one has to do with Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo. You recall that leaked tape that he said was not him, that the state felt he was the one and put him before the court and leveled charges against him. The update is that a transcript of the tape has been done and submitted to the court and was accepted by the court. It was subtended in through someone who works at the Institute of Languages. He did a transcription, so he came in as a state witness and spoke to it, and as the court accepted this particular piece of evidence. And so that trial is also ongoing for those who may be interested in what is happening in terms of some of the high-profile cases that we've not heard anything about quite recently. And so that is it by way of update in terms of major issues. I don't know whether we want to move into Elekem Kumaji now.
Oh, you want to answer that question?
No, he should answer the question. You had a question for him.
No, but I posed the question, Akable. I posed the question first, so it's only right that you
ask
give
the
me
question
your answer
directly.
before I give you mine.
What are you asking? Ask directly.
Oh, are you interested in dating older, rich women or rich older women? Like Elikem Kumoji, Joseph Akable?
No.
Live on air. What's the answer to that?
No, I'm not. I don't look out for wealth or age or anything when I'm going out with someone. It's more of if you connect and if you are cool. So while he may be going out looking for rich and wealthy and all that, those are not things I look out for. When it happens, it happens. I mean, what do you think?
Okay, so let's just clarify that the he here is Elikem Kumoji, not me, because I'm on the same beach with you. I don't date for those purposes either.
So you date for what purposes exactly, Benjamin?
Oh, I think I'll side with exactly what Akable said. I look out for the character of the person and whether there is that, you know, how would I put it, resonance with the person. If there is, of course, then so you
won't mind dating an older woman, somebody older than you or younger than you, I guess.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
It depends on. There would be other circumstances to take stock of, actually, but I wouldn't. No.
Okay. Joseph, you asked me what I think about your position.
Our position now. There are two of us now.
Are you asking me
as a human being?
No, in your capacity as a host of the AM show.
I was going to say my capacity as you know, your mother. Oh, listen, I just respect what you say. I only hope that you mean what you say. And you didn't say it because we're on TV. And that you are saying it from your heart, which is...
I can't speak for Akabule, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean exactly what I say.
Okay.
I sense for Akabule, it could be different. I don't know.
All right. Let's do myjoyonline.com, and then we can touch base also with the BBC shortly. So on myjoyonline.com, which is our page, really, you'd find this story. Over $114 million embezzled by NDC in its Saglime housing project. Attached here, first disclosing this on PM Express this week. Yesterday, those who apparently did the auditing and arrived at this conclusion, there was a time spent, and Akabule, you have to remind me of the person in particular.
Is the president of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors.
Great. Was on the midday news with MFR Powell, but he would not say anything concrete in terms of whether or not this figure was embezzled. So the issue is still pretty much ongoing. We know that a former minister has been questioned by the CID.
Have you seen the place before? Have you seen?
Yes. I think I traveled to, where was it? To Aqua Safari not too long ago, and
I've seen it like 3 times, and I've actually been to that particular place. Anytime I pass by, I mean, let's put aside all the corruption and other issues. I wonder why whoever decided to put that building at that place, like it always keeps my mind.
As in what, like really far?
Yeah, it's not close to Accra. It's not close to the Volta region either. Just in the middle, and it's just there. I mean, I'm wondering.
I was saying that maybe the original purpose or the motive was to probably give it to public workers so that they would carry them on buses to work or something like that.
If that's not the case, I mean, then I should hope that should be the case, because if it's not, it's simply mind-boggling. I mean, put such buildings far away from any major town. And
there are many units, but see, I don't think that we should continue to let it just stay there and rot.
I think the best would be to hand it over to the security agencies. That's what I think. Turn it into, I don't know.
To do what exactly?
As they are residents.
To live there.
To live there.
With their families.
With their families, I mean.
And their children will go to what kind of school? Like
I don't know. I mean, because I don't see how affordable this will be, one, and number two, how people will, because I wouldn't, no matter the cost, I wouldn't want to live at a place like this.
It's really, really out of town. But listen.
Well, if I may just chip in on this matter, I mean, I've worked in the Pram Pram enclave before, and I know people who come from there and way beyond, coming even into, Accra and other places to work. So I would think that to bottom line, they have been constructed. And once they have been constructed, we can't, like Mama V is saying, we shouldn't let them rot. We shouldn't let them go waste. We might as well maximize them. Yes, 1,500 units for maybe an exorbitant sum of money. But which is better, to ensure that we actually benefit from what money has been pumped into it, or we let them rot and then lose everything? I mean, there are housing projects from the Kufuor era. Kufuor came through making other promises about what he would do. There are so many of them that have been left to go bust. And I think that we might as well make some use of them rather than just, let them go waste. And I don't think they are situated too far. I mean, if you go back to the 1920s, thereabouts, when you're thinking of South Africa, when you're thinking of what Ghana was copying at the time, they were actually putting up these housing units, especially for workers, because this was a country that was now, trying to find its way into a sort of industrialized setup. So I think it works. It just depends on how we tap into it. I don't think it's too far, because mind you, there are communities which are being inhabited now that a long time ago we felt were, on the outskirts of town, bush, areas and all of that. But guess what? Today, they're in the thick of things. So I think it just depends on the outlook and how much use we make of them. Yeah,
let's spend the rest of the time talking about the minority parties debate yesterday. I was monitoring on radio. Some of you watched it on television. But I felt that Mr. Ayarga came out very strongly yesterday. He, right from the beginning, knew what he was saying. I was pretty impressed. I like the submissions of Mr. Ivor Greenstreet as well. I thought that he was also quite clear in his submissions.
I liked Kofi Akpaloo. I thought he was very, very straightforward and simplistic on some of the issues. I mean,
he will keep borrowing.
Yeah, the fact. Yeah,
did you say simplistic?
Yes, simplistic in the sense that he doesn't speak the complex stuff, just straightforward issue. But it's the truth sometimes, because the facts of the matter, and on a borrowing thing, he was spot on when he said that the US debt to GDP was around 108%. It's a very simplistic view, because the fact of the matter is that our economy cannot support such debt to GDP ratio. And so, of course, he may be wrong in terms of the impact and how to survive it eventually. I thought it was a great exercise. My only issue is that we are listening to people who potentially will collectively get 1% of our vote. Proffer solutions. Those who get a 99%, why are they not speaking?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's your friend Ivor Green Street.
Yeah, Miss Ivor Green Street. Well, I mean, I think kudos to Madame Bridget Jogbenuko as well. It was refreshing hearing at least one female voice, you know, amongst the men. It wasn't properly balanced, because we know that not many women, you know, allow themselves to take up this responsibility and be in the spotlight like she has been. I think she's really grown into it. When she started off, it wasn't like this. She's come a very long way. And I felt proud listening to her. I thought she did a good job too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that will be it. Thank you, Benjamin Joseph Akable. We will take a breather. We'll bring you sports, and then we'll have our farming conversation. We're talking agriculture. We're heavy on it. If you're a young person watching us, you probably lost your job. You've heard people say, oh, go into farming, but you simply don't know how to start. We'll give you some solid advice, because we're spending time with a man who knows all about it. He's been there, done it, still in it. So you've got to stay with us and watch that as well. Ray Kwampofo is up next.